With the Muffler Ryan Bruckner, I'm Mike Big Tobacco Ryan. This is my intro. Welcome to a Wrestlemania Weekend edition of Squared Circle Cinema. Apparently, my energy level is a little bit higher than my co-hosts today.
What?
I woke up with a start, man. Rewatched the Adam Cole Johnny Gargano match. I'm just like, dude, I'm ready. I'm coming over now, dude. We said 1:30, but I'm Hulk Hogan, dude. After pinning Iron Sheik, I was like, this turns me on, And you're like, well, I gotta do yoga. That usually takes about an hour and a half. Why can't we just settle on? And you don't sound like that, Ryan. But another wah-wah-wah moment, but I'm not going to let it bring me down, buddy.
You told me 1:30. You tried to change the plans.
Yeah, and how did I react?
And then you were like, fuck.
Yeah,
so I got to do everything you want.
I know. I'm the worst, man. And I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't go at all then.
I planned my whole morning around you saying you'd be here at 1:30.
Didn't I throw in like an ish? 1:30-ish? Something like that?
No.
Oh,
you said
1:30?
1:30.
Okay, anyway, I bring it up to apologize. Sorry about that, man.
Whoa, whoa, Squared Circle Cinema. God, I hate these guys.
Pump it up, pump it up.
Well, how's your Wrestlemania weekend treating you?
That's over. I mean, I saw it.
You watched NXT, it's over.
So
Yeah, for the first time
I'm satisfied
in a long
enough.
time, I'm doing something during WrestleMania, and I think that's okay because the last with this length, ever since WrestleMania 32, this length has really gotten to me. And it's like the last time I really had fun watching WrestleMania was 31.
Yeah,
live with you, and I enjoyed 30 before that, and all the other ones before that.
I enjoyed 30
because they're
quite a bit.
They're 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
They're manageable cards.
Yeah,
but it's like now you start watching it like 2 o'clock, and you're just burnt out by the time like 6 rolls around.
It's too much because I'm throwing it on at the pre-show. Especially if it's an open air arena and you get to see some daylight on the East Coast. I'm going to be so excited that first hour of the pre-show, and then I'm going to realize that all the moments that I want to capture, like I'm really looking forward to the Kurt Angle match.
You are?
I am, because I feel like it's a bad pairing, so something special
There's going to be some shenanigans.
Is going to happen, yeah. So maybe.
But have you seen his matches that he's been having? I watched. I think it was against Chad Gable, and it was just a standard suplex.
Okay.
And he could not go up.
That's his neck, man.
He could not do the flip. It looked so bad.
But okay, fine. But that's not why I'm interested to watch this match. There's going to be a run in something. There's going to be a moment. I
think John Cena is going to be involved somehow. That's what I think.
There are, oh my God, 16 matches, I believe, or is it 17 now?
That's what I heard. 17.
Oh my goodness,
so,
that's just too much. There's something like WrestleMania 10 I rewatched recently, when I did the match of the month last episode. Check the archives. Crush versus Macho Man.
It's like 2 hours, 45 minutes.
And what an entertaining show.
Yeah.
And even the botched moments, the bad matches, I just find myself going like, you know what? That Alundra Blaze match wasn't that bad. Hey, Leilani Kai, you got to hand it to her. Because there's a bookend there. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. There's a 3-act structure, and it doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just put it on all day, have your friends over, and it's going to last.
And then people are like,
shift.
Why are you complaining about more wrestling? And it's like, well, what about the
because
what about the people that are
show.
there? What about the people that go to see it live? Like,
we were so fortunate.
Out.
Yeah, and
you
your
get tired.
experience at WrestleMania 32 was not a good one because of the length of the program. And what did we witness last night with NXT TakeOver? The best 3 hours.
5 matches.
5 matches.
Nice and tight.
A crisp, tight 3 hours. Honestly, I mean, I have seen better NXT matches, but as far as beginning, middle, end, this I think is the best NXT pay-per-view I've ever seen.
If you call the third fall of the 2 out of 3 falls match a match. If we just
yeah.
call that a match, that's like one of the best matches I've ever seen.
What did you like about it? The way he was trying to, Adam Cole's trying to get out of the chin lock, and he does, but then it's just locked in. What was that move? It was an arm bar?
What I really liked was that the crowd was almost like 80% for Adam Cole at the beginning. Like everybody wanted Adam Cole to win. Like not that many people were on Johnny Gargano's side, but just by the work that the two men put in to tell that story in the ring.
Yeah.
By the time Johnny Gargano won, everybody was all for it.
Oh my God.
Nobody was disappointed at all.
Yeah.
Like when a crowd is pissed off about something and you put the work in and you do what needs to be done to change their mind and they change their mind, then you've achieved what a wrestler should achieve.
Icing on the cake, Tommaso shows up from behind. You get that embrace after their incredible feud.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, swan song, passing of the torch kind of moments. The opening tag team match is the greatest tag team match I've ever seen in my entire life, man. I know I'm fresh off the heels, but
so many great spots.
God, War Raiders are so incredible.
And the War Raiders trading agility spots with Ricochet.
Oh, God.
Ricochet doing power spots and then them doing agility spots.
Yes, and then finesse spots matching Ricochet. Like mirroring the same moves and the same genre, just crossing left and right.
So damn cool.
Aleister Black and Ricochet are so amazing together, man. They have.
I really liked.
They had that shared moment of zen, that Aleister Black usually does solo, and he's like, "Dude, I'm going to join in on this one with you, bro."
Yeah.
And then just
they're friends,
but the amount of respect that was showcased. Especially in the beginning, like, oh, I could have gotten you I could have cold cocked you right there. But you know what? We're wrestling.
I'm gonna let you up.
I'm gonna let you up, and then it's reciprocated. And then at the end, where they drop the belts and literally bow to Ricochet and Aleister Black, was unbelievable. I was getting teary eyed.
Yeah. Do you think when Triple H takes over, we'll get this kind of stuff on the main roster, or do you think the main roster is going to just carry on the way it always has?
I think it will continue, which is good for me because I like to compartmentalize. So I like to know that every single time I watch an NXT event, I'm not watching it during the week. I'm not up on the product. A little bit more so than I am with WWE currently, I would say, but I like just having it under that, kind of hip, because it's the underground version, and that's always going to be cooler. But whatever they're doing is perfect. The angles leading up to matches, like, mistakes are forgivable, like, because it's just under this umbrella of something that's just so cool that I want it to stay there. I like to judge WWE. I like to get belligerently drunk and alienate friendships hour 6.5 into WrestleMania 34.
You like that?
I like doing that. No, I don't. But it's like I'm okay with my hatred for WWE currently, and I don't want it to get any better. I like the idea that it's where Shinsuke Nakamura goes to die and not put on one performing match in his entire career, because he's already done it. I'm fine with that. It's more laid back. It's more driven towards children. But then again, the grandeur is still there. The stage, there's no way the stage isn't going to deliver tomorrow, and that's all I
saw the
out.
pictures.
I've been avoiding them. I don't want one hint. I just want to.
You just want to turn it on and look at it.
Let it.
Just look at it. Drink
I just want to turn that on and look at it. Seriously, though, that's on par with when you go to a house show at the Pond and you peek, behind the curtain for the first time when you're not even at your aisle yet, but you're like, I just want to see the ring. I get that feeling and nostalgia. And the last 3 years I peaked, and I'm not going to do it this year. So don't send me any links, pal. Do you think it's going to be overwhelmingly New York themed? Speaking of overwhelmingly New York themes, how about Velveteen Dream's entrance?
It was pretty great. I like that men are carrying him to the ring.
Oh, my God, man. I was just on I'm still recovering. I was on a ride during this event.
That was almost a squash match. Matt Riddle took like 85% of the offense.
Yeah, but he was a good dance partner. I'm really digging Matt Riddle, and the promos leading up to that match were spectacular. I think he's a great opponent for Dream, and I hope they continue to square off.
He's got good facial expressions for kickouts and stuff. Like he was just so frustrated that he couldn't put Dream away.
Dude, I just love he's embracing the bro persona. I mean, I just like the slippers he wears, like as if he's, I don't know if I'm going to the beach or to the ring. I don't know. I'm just going to make the best of it. Like the fist bumps. He's cool. So what are they going to, I think that gimmick would translate well to the main roster, I would say.
Do you think they're going to change his name to just Matt or to Riddle?
Yeah, what's going on with that? Why drop in?
Vince McMahon
currently
hates two
Aleister
names.
Black is Aleister Black.
But by next week, he's just going to be Black.
But he's on the main card, the main roster, in a featured bout. He's not in the Battle Royal. So he's billed as Aleister Black. You think they're actually going to drop that? Like Mustafa Ali?
Give him a few months.
Man.
They'll ruin everything.
All right. What's your top 3 NXT performers? And I include Aleister Black and Ricochet.
From last night?
Just all right now. All time, I mean.
All time?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, Daniel Bryan does
after hard to think about.
Okay, after
There's
Nexus.
So many people that have been in it.
All right, right now then. You know what? Forget it.
Well,
I don't even care anymore.
Johnny Gargano is number 1. He's my favorite wrestler right now, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He just makes you believe.
I think he's been in all of my top 3 favorite matches that NXT has put out, aside from let's see, Bayley, Sasha Banks. That was incredible. But like Andrade and Gargano.
Yeah.
And like where Chicago or Philadelphia, I can't remember. Like that's the best match I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
There's
so
just
hard to
something
argue
about
that.
like the way he sells. Like sometimes he'll just get kicked or he'll take like a huge move and he's just got these dead eyes where you're like,
look,
he's so good at that.
I kind of caught myself here because I'm putting NXT on this pedestal, and yes, I'm fresh off the heels of being wooed by the wooed, you know, it was stunning. So I'm using terms like greatest of all time. What are your top 3 favorite of all time? But is this hyperbole or is this out of line? Because I truly believe that what they're doing right now is the best wrestling I've ever seen in my entire life.
They're on a roll.
You know what I mean? Is that too much to say?
I mean, they're definitely, since NXT existed, they've been on a roll where they've got just incredible cards every single time. I think the last year, maybe 2 years of NXT is the best they've ever had.
And not only that, the way they bring in the crowd by really interesting, pithy, not too many syllables that the crowd can jump on, like Johnny Participation, instead of, what Johnny Takeover he tried to coin. It's like, whoa, you've lost every single takeover you've been in. And that just like Johnny Participation's got a good rhythm to it. That gets the crowd going and you just hear it through the rafters, so it's the crowd participation is also prevalent.
And it's always that much better when you have the fly-in crowd watching at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of top 5s.
Speaking of top 5 all-time moments, let's get into our top 5 WrestleMania moments of all time, man. This was a tough list for me. It took me a while because, we know the Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels ladder match at WrestleMania X. We know the Iron Man match. We know Taker and the Streak. I'm not just going to give you those figures, right? I mean, come on. We're better than that.
This is the way I took it.
Yeah.
The way I decided is the 5 things that affected me the most. So I didn't even I better look at every single WrestleMania on Wikipedia just to refresh my memory.
Right.
No, I was like, what are the 5 things that come to mind?
Okay.
That just blew me away in my WrestleMania watching
I can
career.
tell you that
And that's how I picked him.
very cool. And I can tell you that of my top 5, none of them were from WrestleMania 6, which is surprising. None of them are from WrestleMania X7, which is very surprising.
Well, do you want to start with your top 5, with your number 5?
Well, I did introduce the segment, so it's only fair. WrestleMania moment number 5. April 4th, 1993, from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. I believe I mentioned a time or two before that my mother had taken me to WrestleMania 9. And she loaded up. She got loaded, man.
Really? No. That would be funny.
God, I can't believe
You'd have to get loaded to
What if she was all just hungover that day?
sit through that shit.
Will you stop yelling?
I can't believe I have to watch this shit.
3 hours?
With an ether rag on the
She
Undertaker?
loaded me up with souvenirs, Ryan. Of course, we got the shirts, which you've seen. It has a hole in it now, and I'm too... Like, I put it in the dryer, so
your
it's
moment
shrunk.
is getting souvenirs.
I also got an Undertaker urn, that giant, oversized Bret Hart poster, like the size of a queen-size, bed sheet.
So it could fit right over your bed while you masturbate.
She also purchased me a red foam Tatanka tomahawk. All right? Sometime during the event, I dropped it, and it fell under the bleachers onto the concrete. And I was upset, but I was also on such a high during that event that when my mom asked me, and she did, and I vividly remember this, she asked, should I buy you another one? I said, no, that's okay. You've done more than enough, Mother.
How much did your mom
And
spend
that's,
on
I
this
know,
shit?
right? Hitman glasses. At that one. Yeah, I got
Damn.
spoiled, man. And that's when I realized I have the coolest mom on the planet. So number 5 is dedicated to my mother, formerly engaged to Tyler DeKay, Kathy, with a K.
So the
moment
is
I
your
dropped,
mom,
so the
your
moment
mom's
is
spending money.
I don't know if it's like when I had that, that I realized that, Mom, no. I think the moment is when
It took that moment.
because I was such a spoiled, rotten brat that usually I'm like, well, yeah, I want to take advantage of this. But I was like, no, Mom, you're crushing it today. I dropped it. I'm upset because I wanted.
You've really outdone yourself.
Yeah. But I think, so the
That's
moment I think though is dropping the tomahawk. That's
Okay.
the moment. And then the reaction, the synthesis of that is just a wholesome love between a mother and a 9-year-old boy, 10-year-old boy. 93, 10-year-old boy.
So my number 5 comes from WrestleMania 18.
Ooh.
From Toronto. And it's the moment that Hulk Hogan and The Rock are just staring at each other and drinking in the crowd reaction. Just like looking back and forth and
Yeah.
then looking at each other. Because going into the match, like, it didn't really seem to have the significance it had in the ring.
They made
like
it-
leading up to it, you were like, big deal.
I don't know,
Hogan
man.
versus The Rock.
Yeah, but there
But
were some great
no-
NWO promos leading up to that.
But they were trying to make it like Hogan was taking over and then he was an evil bastard.
Yeah.
But he was a face in that match. Mm-hmm. And the crowd loved him. So I don't feel like we understood the importance of the match
Until
and the
the
scale
moment.
of it
Wow,
until
yeah.
that moment. And just seeing the two of them drink it in.
Beautiful.
And them being the two greatest showmen in the... I'm not going to say two greatest wrestlers.
Showmen, yeah.
But definitely the two greatest showmen in the history of WWF, WWE. Just drinking it in because they
Yeah.
know that they're two guys that can always have the crowd at their fingertips. That was a beautiful moment for me.
Would you consider John Cena a wrestler or a showman?
He's a little bit of both, but he's definitely not on either of their level.
Okay. Steve Austin.
Steve Austin,
Wrestler, right?
wrestler,
Wrestler,
damn it.
right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a wrestler.
I mean, incredible promo. But
Yeah.
man, can he deliver in the ring as far as chemistry and telling a story.
Well, because he
bell
doesn't.
to bell.
The Rock is a showman because he did a stupid move like the people's elbow and
Right.
got it completely over.
Completely over.
I don't think
Completely over.
I don't think
he's
Stone Cold.
sliding in loafers, man.
Yeah.
He's making it work.
I don't think Stone Cold could do
pull that off
something
because,
silly like that.
Yeah, the
and get it
idea
over.
of pounding bears, that's relatable.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of, it's not very difficult to, I mean, if Sandman could get that
And
over, then anyone could.
The Rock would lose all the time. Like it didn't matter if he lost.
What a showman. And I do not think he oversells it every time he took a stunner. I'm sorry.
He made it better.
He made it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great choice. Number 4. Well, we knew his retirement was going to go down, and we also knew it wouldn't last long. But we did not know that it would be so beautifully executed. Ric Flair versus HBK, WrestleMania 24. The I Love You super kick is my number 4. This is the kind of moment you share with your girlfriends. If they ask, why are you into professional wrestling? You know what I mean? This is beauty at its finest. The I love you to the kick, to the pin, to the embrace. Ric Flair weeping throughout. This is a magical moment. Gets me every time I see it to this day, revisiting it.
Just seeing him like kind of crying while he's being covered is pretty
beautiful because
beautiful.
It almost seems corny when you explain when he's because I've explained this before, and it's like, and then he whispers, "I love you. I'm sorry." A little melodramatic, but not the way he does it. And it's the weeping while he's taking the bump. And then the embrace when they're both on the floor. Just unbelievable. In no way diminished by him returning, going to TNA afterwards. Who cares?
Yeah.
This is just breathtaking theater.
You know, in that vein, I didn't put it on my list, but it's kind of lives in that world where like I see it and I get kind of choked up.
I misspoke. It's not breathtaking theater because it's real. You know, because this isn't. I mean, they weren't like, okay, and then I'm going to tell you I love you, and then I'm going to, that would be breathtaking theater when it's planned. So, but this is just, human beings reacting to the scenario that they're in currently on the grandest scale of what they do possible. And it's very touching.
So, what I was saying, honorable mention that's in this kind of...
Sorry to interrupt you while I was giving my number 4.
I believe you were done giving your number 4.
We're still living in it.
I started talking, and then you were like, "Oh, but by the way, for the theater, blah 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 blah."
Well, I don't want you to come right over because I gotta do my yoga. You don't sound like that.
Just what makes me choke up, and I'm just thinking about it now that you were describing that moment, was WrestleMania 19. After Rock beats Stone Cold in Stone Cold's last match, and you just see the two of them laying down, and he's just like, "Thank you for everything you've done for me, Steve," and just leaves him the ring.
Oof.
Oh,
good Lord. And we follow him the whole way.
Yeah.
Up to the stage. Austin turns to the crowd.
Yeah, now I should have put that in my top moments.
Me too.
But
maybe next year we'll do a top 10.
You made me think about that, bringing up the Ric Flair thing. Question: did you watch that WrestleMania with Ric Flair when it happened? Did you order that, or is this something you watched like later on? Because this was a dark period, I think, for both of us.
If I watched it, what year are we at? 2008, 2009.
What WrestleMania was that?
It was 24.
So I was 24. You were 25.
If I did,
we probably.
I think okay.
Yeah,
so I'm living in Long Beach at the time, and I did host a few WrestleMania parties. So I did put on both the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match, the Stay Down. I put that on around.
I
this
remember
time.
that one because I was trying to get you to not walk next to your stair.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that was the Undertaker Shawn Michaels year.
So every time,
it was the year after that.
Yeah, every time I hosted in Long Beach, you would have been there. So
I
guess
don't think I was there for this one.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I watched this.
I watched this after the fact.
Yeah, because I wasn't even excited about WrestleManias then.
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, it was.
So
it was definitely a dark period.
Just no focus on the product at all. No watching WrestleManias even, and now I'm at the Big 5, and that's it, kind of, which is a good place to be.
I started getting slightly more interested around this time when they started releasing more DVD retrospectives. Like they had released the Bret Hart DVD, the Jake the Snake, the Ultimate Warrior DVD, and I was like, okay, this
or the
is
Shawn
bringing me
Michaels
back.
Bret Hart interview with Jim Ross.
Yeah,
around this time.
yeah.
What was I doing by the stairs? Oh yeah, I was like, come on guys, I'm just gonna go for a run, and you would stop me by the stairs. You're like, no, we're watching WrestleMania. Come back to the couch.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is from WrestleMania 31, Seth Rollins'
Yay!
big day.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
So
Are
I'm
we
just
talking about his Money in the Bank cash in, or
I'm
just
talking-
the entire day?
I'm
the
saying-
curb stomp.
his big day.
Huge
He
day.
hasn't made an impact or burnt it down, if you will, like he did this night since.
No one else has.
Seeing him
Really?
start the day off by pulling off an unbelievable spot with Randy Orton doing the curb stomp into the RKO,
Breathtaking. And,
just
and Randy
making
Orton's-
everybody pop. Randy Orton was like, I can't believe we did it. Yes. Right in the hot San Jose sun.
Randy Orton's reaction was priceless.
Yeah. And then to just cap off the night by cashing it in out of nowhere. I
of
remember
nowhere.
going into this event being like, you
Let's
know,
just have fun.
we're here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be a horrible WrestleMania, but we're here and we're
here.
going to have fun. And it turned out to be
We're
great.
going to make the best of it. We're going to go to the Guy Fieri restaurant on the way back. You know, we're going to see Sean. We're going to, you know, how old do you think Hulk Hogan is? 62. You got it. You know,
Yeah.
we'll have like fun road games and stuff. And we'll be at WrestleMania and we'll just relax. We had no idea it was going to be such an incredible show.
And we were like, okay, this main event is definitely going to suck.
Wasn't
And
it
it was
relentless?
great. And then it just got even better when it was definitely the best Money in the Bank cash in of all time.
And the segments between matches really held the connective tissue of this
Yeah.
event was great. Rusev's tank, that freaking song, man. The Get 'em gone. Oh, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
on the artist.
You can end the name of my
David Guetta.
ego.
You can take, and then we get a live performance. Although
Yeah.
that didn't really work. We were both like, "Who's this for?" But then watching back, it's like, "Oh, this is cool."
Yeah. And it wasn't that long. They fit the performance in, and it wasn't like too much.
No, yeah, it was like
You
1
fit a
tune.
damn performance into this 7-hour extravaganza. That's too much.
Are there any?
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah, I don't know if any.
But
performers
yeah,
like that
at that moment, just him cashing in and just the pop and the excitement that we all had when he ran down to the ring, that'll be forever ingrained in my mind.
Those two moments, the curb stomp and the cash in, the Ronda Rousey segment with The Rock and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, the NWO coming out, DX coming out. Like, these were incredible pops.
Yeah.
That we were in the rafters. You know, we did not have good seats. We were behind. If you watch a 49ers game, there's a little Pepsi sign. You know, kind of but past the parking lot. Kind of. We were like on top of that Pepsi sign. You know, and in those moments, you feel like you're front row because we were all connecting. Great
Yeah.
HD screens as well. But as far back in those moments, everybody from front row to where we were reacted exactly the same. And there's this sense of camaraderie, togetherness, where you're just completely removed. It's an out-of-body experience,
Yeah.
really. The
It-
yes chance, you know.
It
I
made
just,
me like it so much that I went back the next year and was horribly disappointed because it
Yeah.
wasn't the same.
I just felt like a brotherhood. And then you like look around and see what everyone looks like. And like, I got to get out of here.
I got to look in the mirror. Oh, shit.
Great choice. Yeah, that's in my top 5 WrestleManias of all time, no doubt. Top 3. Speaking of top 3, number 3. We had been drinking some beers at the WrestleMania pub crawl hours before. We abandoned the spiciest Bloody Marys in history after a sip or two. You took a picture with Rick the Model Martel.
Hey, are you still following that guy on Facebook?
Oh, he's where
He's
you think
there?
he is?
He's
He's in
there?
New York, New Jersey right now, man. He runs the gamut every year. He does the NXT, the WrestleMania, and the Raw every
Do you
year.
think he's doing the New Japan Supercard? tonight?
I will keep you posted because he's good at like sharing where he is. I think he wants everyone else to know that their life.
Did he
is
go to
worse
the
than
Joey Ryan penis party?
I don't know.
Did you see those
I'm
gifts?
not. I have other friends on.
Did you see the gifts last night from the Joey Ryan penis party?
No, I didn't.
There's just this. It's like I've seen it all over my feed. It's one guy on the top rope with his butt hanging down, like with a thong. And then another guy with his hands on the ground and his legs on the second rope with his pants down and a thong. And they're just bumping butts.
Wow.
Just bumping butts.
This is like human centipede type stuff.
Yeah. And then they use the line, the John Oliver line, wrestling is way better than whatever you like.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if I should tackle that now. Can we
You
pause
can
it?
look at it
Okay.
later.
That's incredible. What? Oh, wow. Man. Too bad he wasn't doing that move when we saw him at PWG.
Yeah.
What do you think of that move? I
The
mean,
penis move?
yeah.
I think it's funny.
If it's sold well, it works.
He had a
like
match.
putting the supernatural. I always enjoyed putting a supernatural element to a move.
He had a match at some event like yesterday or the day before where his dick was supposed to be in another guy's butt, and then the guy clenched his butt and then made him the guy made him flip around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That is a great wrestling maneuver. What a maneuver.
I'd like JR to call that.
Oh, God. His dick's broken in half.
He's called more embarrassing things than that.
I wouldn't want JR. He would. Oh, no, I do. I do. I was going to say he would ruin it, but
Stop
he
the
would make
damn match. His penis is broken in half. Sorry, Rick the Martel Martel.
Okay. We smoked a bowl in the parking lot. Oh, I guess I don't need it. And it was hot. Squinting up at the afternoon sun, we both realized we had forgotten sunscreen. I'm tripping out as we're slowly being corralled to our seats with the most amount of people in a stadium walkway I've ever been in. You remember that? Like,
Yeah.
I was getting nervous. I don't know why. I'm not claustrophobic or anything, but I was just like,
It was hot.
Something goes wrong.
I think we just didn't expect
If
it to be
something goes
this hot.
wrong, we're screwed.
Yeah.
I got I felt
Yeah.
that sensation for the first time. I've never been uncomfortable around a lot of people before, but I felt it because there were so many. And we are like, I'm about to get sun damage, probably
Yeah.
severe, because it is daytime. It's the afternoon, and we are exposed to the elements. And we were. The sun was facing
We
us.
had no
basically.
shade.
So
The
I'm
whole
like,
event.
This is going to be a miserable.
Until the main event when the sun
Yep.
went down.
And that felt great. I was loving the main event, man.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to, wait in line to buy a little mini travel size packet of sunscreen, But as we approach the aisle to our seats, God smiled upon us as he presented a table with two of the most lovely ladies sitting behind it, next to a sign that read "Free Sunscreen." I remember it being our aisle. Like, we didn't have to go out of our way. The table went towards us.
Yeah. It was like, it's okay, guys. Enjoy yourselves.
After being like corralled, being processed with a bunch of other people slowly moving, and I feel like we are going to face dread here. Oh boy, I'm high, and just as soon, I think that's what set it off. Like, this is going to be the perfect night, because it was right in front of us. Like, the ladies were like,
Yeah.
sunscreen over here. You look pretty fair skinned, buddy. Just the most beautiful 60-year-old ladies. And we're like, thank you so much.
So nice and
Thanking
polite
them
to us.
profusely as we're applying this. And just like, we forgot. We just totally forgot. And they were just like, you know what?
Yeah. That's why
Everybody
we're
does.
here.
Everybody does.
That's
it was like
why
the
we're
first
here.
aid station. And then we proceeded to watch one of the greatest WrestleMania events of all time.
My number 3 from the first WrestleMania I ever watched, WrestleMania 6. The WrestleMania that made the biggest impression on me. It
From
was
the Rogers Center, but they weren't calling it that then.
from Skydome.
There you go.
So the moment that really impacted me was when Hogan loses and hands over the belt to Ultimate Warrior. Just the sadness on his face, the sweat dripping down as he's like, I guess I'm not immortal.
Yeah. It
was my first, this is the first time, really the first time I ever watched wrestling was watching a tape of WrestleMania 6.
Wow.
So it was my little 6-year-old self getting his first taste of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Though, interesting point. And, we never really experienced the shock because we were always in a realm of already knowing that the Ultimate Warrior, this is the event where the Ultimate Warrior pins Hulk Hogan. If we're in our prime there watching that, we're like, no way that chump's going over Hogan. No way. Nah.
It just Hogan.
Shocking.
Hogan did a good job of, some people say, he stole the spotlight, but it was like, it was it was just a great show of just defeat and sadness. But then he's like, you know what? You earned it. And then they give each other that hug with the fists pounding each other's backs.
And there's that scab that Warrior has right on his elbow. I don't know why I remember that, but that was like, that's his WrestleMania 6 scab that he's got. Great promo, leading like his belligerent promo where he just tosses Sean Mooney aside. Yeah. Great.
You don't deserve to breathe the same air that Hulk Hogan and I breathe.
Perfect sense to me. Yeah. Just repeating Hulk Hogan over and over and over and over. Just intense.
Yeah.
Number 2, Owen pins Brett clean in the opening match at WrestleMania 10 by blocking a victory roll. Enough said.
Kind of like Matt Riddle versus Velveteen Dream last night.
It's a lot like that. I was reminded of that.
But reversing the bro mission into a pin.
Mm-hmm. And it took all of Owen's chutzpah to get it, and he was just exhausted afterwards.
So much so that he had a loogie hanging off of his lip for
the side of his lip.
Hours. Okay. Then my number 2 comes from WrestleMania 7. Randy and Liz reunited.
There you go.
It's just the most effective face turn
Southern California fans
I can think of. Can you think of a more effective face turn than this? He was just a horrible, hated man, but then you see him just sunk down, this macho man, sunk down to his lowest point as he's just being beaten by his valet, and he's faced the end of his career. And then just that pop when Liz comes down to save him, and then he's like, wait, you saved me? It was you that saved me?
She's weeping.
And they embrace. And then everybody just pops. And then just the perfect, finding the fans in the audience to just sell the moment.
Yeah,
women crying.
The teal shoulder pads just.
Yeah.
Bravo!
A boy with like a weird yellow hat crying and cheering.
How did Macaulay Culkin react to that moment, I wonder?
I'm sure that he was like, this is great.
I just want to watch that again right now.
And then he holds the ropes for her. She would always hold the ropes for him.
Yep.
But this time he's like, nope. I'm holding the ropes for you, baby.
Incredible.
And then Gorilla
commentary,
says,
Gorilla.
What a woman and what a man.
Oh,
just the real human emotions elicited by this moment is why this is truly
she was saying
the sport of kings.
Oh, God. Beautiful. Beautifully said. Just communicating with her eyes and her tears. Like, Randy, you're kind of a sociopath, all right? You have a hard time with dealing with your temper. You have anger issues, all right? I don't know why you're reacting this way with this woman who's only encouraging you to act this way, which is mean. You're mean and you're aggressive. Remember all those good times we had together? Remember how comfortable you were around me? She's saying that with his eyes, with her eyes. And he's like, you're right. I'm so sorry. And that hug is just unbelievably beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. to both Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man. Thank you so much for so many incredible memories. Number 1. Austin's face covered in blood. WrestleMania 13. I'm sorry. It's the obvious choice. But in this match, is it the first time we experienced the Bret Hart's figure 4 on a ring post?
I think he was doing it before that.
Yeah. Maybe around house shows because
Or
the way
I don't know. I feel
the
like
commentating was
or maybe
like,
he was yeah, because it was a heel move that he did for sure.
yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was the first time.
Oh God, when Austin does that push up in the sharpshooter, he's fighting for his
and then
life.
he's like, no.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then he passes out. Ken Shamrock was great in that role. As far as a moment goes, the tight shots, the color just saturating the ring. You know, I mean, there was a pool of blood under his face.
Maybe, I mean, there was more blood during the 2000s, but at that point,
but
the most blood we'd
not
seen.
confined to that area of the ring.
Yeah, the most blood we'd seen at that
finish
point, for
was,
sure.
I mean, because it wasn't just the sharpshooter. I mean, he reversed the sharpshooter. You know, Brett was on the floor, and then he recovered and then locked it in more than he's ever locked it in before.
Yeah.
You know, so we're talking
That probably
minutes.
really hurt.
Yeah. And you know, on his side it was, and then we'll put you in the sharpshooter, you know, and then you'll pass out, you know. But I wonder if they went over like how long he has to be in that, and it just took all of his willpower to like no, because he knows the finish is I pass out, right? But I don't know if he anticipated before that he was going to fight the way he did before he passed out,
or that much blood would come out,
or that much blood would come
Yeah.
out. But you know, he didn't actually pass. You know, it was a work, right? I mean, it had to have been because the timing was just
honestly.
immaculate.
If I lost that much blood, I'd probably pass out.
I feel faint just watching it.
There's something whenever I give blood.
Oh, I feel
always
lightheaded.
feel like I'm gonna pass
Yeah, me
out.
too.
And like one time they were like, "Oh, wake up, wake up, wake up!" Like I started like closing my eyes, and they're like, "Don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep."
Why not? I mean, there's nothing wrong with fainting. You know,
I guess
it's like
not.
you might pee.
The last person shit this chair.
Have a cookie.
Okay, my number one. The time Mean Gene Okerlund said, Regis, you're
beautiful.
No, just kidding.
Oh, come on. I thought about putting that in my top 5 because that was my ringtone
Regis,
for
you're
so
beautiful.
long.
No, mine is also WrestleMania 13, but not Steve Austin's face, just the execution of the double
somersault
turn.
planta off of Ahmed Johnson during the Chicago Street
exactly.
fight over the guardrail.
Just the execution of the double turn. So this is my favorite wrestler of all time deciding that he is going to make the greatest wrestler of all time. He decided in that night, you know what, Sean? He lost his smile. He took his ball and went home. I'm going to make the guy that's going to unseat this motherfucker next year and just toss him into obscurity until he becomes born again and comes back.
Yeah.
And boy, did he do it.
Oh, my God.
I feel like it was like the ultimate fuck you to Sean.
For sure.
Really. And just the crimson mask. And to me at the time, it was justified because it was like he screwed him over at the Royal Rumble. Everybody's against Bret Hart. I was like a Canadian at this point. I was like,
me too.
Is everybody just not seeing what I'm
anyone
seeing?
give a damn about the rules? Steve
Yeah.
Austin was eliminated.
Yeah.
What the hell you doing out there, refs? Plural.
So for me, it was
this
like
isn't fair.
like motherfucker deserved
Damn right.
his after being passed out beating with the chair.
Every chair shot he got, and Vince McMahon's calling it like, okay, he's acting out of character. This is not what Bret Hart does typically, and hopefully this is just a phase. I'm like, no, this guy's a dirty cheat. He deserves this. This is comeuppance.
We were talking about Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole earlier about that being a demonstration of in-ring storytelling and how changing a crowd's emotions is what you want to do, is how you're effective as a wrestler.
From beginning
This
to-
is a demonstration of that. It's storytelling on the grandest stage. And that's
Talk
why
about
it's the number one moment.
Talk about beginning, middle, end. You know,
Yeah. It's just so sad that
talk
he
about
had to
a
get
launching pad.
like,
man.
I really wish the screw job never happened because we could have had more matches between the two of them. We could have had Brett against The Rock. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
So do too, because at least earlier, you know, when it happened in its wake, it was interesting to talk about, and it was buried. You know, other than the Brett screwed Brett, we didn't get any in-depth analysis of what happened. We didn't have the luxury of podcasts then, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was confusion. It was like, I want to hear the real story about this. So it was like kind of cool even. And then you heard the real story from 1,000 different perspectives. Who knows which way is up, to where I never seek out a podcast about the Montreal Screwjob anymore. Like, no way.
I feel like I know everything about it.
I got it. And I don't want to hear someone's perspective that I don't really. You think I care about Jim Cornette's perspective? Like, I don't care, you know. So now I'm tired of hearing about it. I no longer think it's cool. I think it's sad. I think it's inappropriate on both ends, and I wish it never happened.
Yeah.
You know. Great choice.
So let's run down the WrestleMania 35 card.
Let's not.
Let's not?
Well, all right.
Well, I just want to make predictions.
Okay.
Because I like stakes to this. So here's the stakes.
Let's not.
If
but
you
I really want to run down the 17. God.
We do it fast,
All
and
right.
we just say who's going to
Let's
win.
crank it out.
If you pick more than me, and you win,
Oh, okay. All right. So
you
we
can.
should write this
There's
down.
this.
then.
I like action. You know, I'm a degenerate gambler.
Yes, I do.
So if you get more predictions than me,
Does your wife know? That's what I'm more concerned about. Just kidding, Cassie.
if you get
You're not a
more
degenerate.
predictions than me, you can take over my life. You can start living in this house. You can be the father to my son. You can start driving my car. I'm
If I
gonna go.
win?
I'm gonna go live in Skid Row.
Wait, if I win, I get that.
Yeah,
I do not agree.
that's what
To
you get.
these
I'm just gonna
stipulations
become homeless and get Hep C
Wait,
and
I
die.
have to become a homeowner?
Yeah,
I don't like this. Jump. If I
this,
win,
this is what's gonna happen.
I got to
get
raise
my-
your boy?
You get my spot on the couch. You
All
can
right.
even take my name if you want.
Okay, wait. You do have a lifetime pass to the Skirball Center?
It's just a year, but you could renew it.
Okay, because I know he did resonate really well.
I did just get
with the Noah's Ark
a
exhibit.
SoCal Select Pass to Disneyland. You could have that.
Your boy doesn't like me, though.
He
Remember
might.
that time
oh.
that he didn't realize I was in the house and I come sneaking out the hallway and he's just bawling his eyes out the rest of the evening? I was like, I think I got to go, man.
Hopefully, I win.
Skid
But
Row
there's-
seems a little dramatic. Why don't you
This-
just live in my apartment?
I'd rather live in Skid Row.
I fixed the pilot light, man. It was lead paint. Give me a break.
I started scoping out a corner just in case it comes down to it.
So if I pick more winners correctly than you, I will become Cassie's husband and
Yeah.
Owen's father.
And
What's your mortgage
and
situation?
Dusty's
though?
master.
Do I take over your bank? Okay, so I
Yeah.
would get your bank. Okay,
You
all
could
right.
have my job if you wanted to.
I would consider it.
you know?
Seems like your coworkers are pretty friendly. I mean,
They
you
are.
have that whole party brigade where everyone's birthday is celebrated. I like
Yeah.
that. Boy, my cubicle needs an upgrade. Definitely. Okay.
So there's a lot of stakes.
All right. Fingers crossed, Cassie. I'm coming for you. What was that? I'm going to put a hot pepper up your ass. Robert Downey Jr. or something. Oh, that was in...
Isn't that Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No. What
The
the
Tabasco up.
hell? Oh, Natural Born Killers.
Oh,
He's like, I'm gonna that bathroom scene that's all green and saturated. He's like, I'm coming for it. Like when Robert Downey Jr. loses his job, he's about to die, and he loses his girl. He's like, I'm gonna stick a hot pepper. Okay. Match number 16. Are we on Wikipedia here?
you're running them down. I'm listening.
All right, so we are on Wikipedia here. Tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. This one was just announced, I think, like 2 days ago. The Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I am going to go with the Revival.
I'm going to go with the Revival, too.
Okay. The Usos. Oh, this is a Fatal 4-Way. Oh, I didn't know they released this one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ricochet and Aleister Black. All right. Usos versus Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Bar versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Ooh, okay. I am going to go with... No way Ricochet and Aleister Black are going to go over. I just don't see it. I want them to. But, I'm really going to be rooting for them. So I'm going to go with Ricochet and Aleister Black.
I'm going to go with Rusev and Nakamura.
Okay. Do we have to do the Battle Royals?
Yeah, we have to pick one.
Okay, women's battle royal. I am going with Lana.
I'm gonna.
Lana.
What's the name? There's like that new blonde chick that's like, I'm too proper for this.
Oh,
What's her name?
Dana Brooke.
Lacey.
Oh.
Is it Lacey Evans or I forget her name. Fuck it. I'm just gonna say Asuka.
Just say Zelina Vega already. I have no
I'm gonna
idea.
say Asuka.
All right. That brings us to Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. Dude, this one's tough. Regardless, Kofi Kingston is going to come out on top. Whether he wins or loses, I think this is going to be an amazing showcase for him. Maybe him going over is a little too extreme. Would they do it? Should I pick with my heart or my mind? Kofi Kingston!
I'm going Kofi as well.
Okay. The Boss and Hug Connection, worst tag team name of all time.
Yeah. What the hell? What?
Worst tag team name.
They
of
could just
all
be
time.
like the Boss and Bailey.
Beth
Makes
Phoenix
more sense.
and Natalia, the Iconics, Nia Jax, and Tamina. Sorry, put a versus between or Tamina. Fatal 4-Way tag team match for the WWE Women's. I'm obviously not watching the product, man. I don't want Nia Jax to be a part of any victory ever again. How about the Iconics?
I'm going Boss and Hug.
Okay. Are there two I's in Iconics?
I think so.
Okay. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns.
You know what?
Ooh. Remember, your wife and child are on
You're
the
right.
line.
They are on the
Come
line.
on, man.
He did just get back from cancer. All right, Roman.
It's a damn cancer card, man. Wins every time. So what put Roman Reigns over? Cancer. All right. Sorry. Edit that out, please. Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
He's going as a demon, so you can't.
Nice.
You can't beat the
Oh.
demon.
Speaking of entrances, man, I can't wait for Aleister Black's entrance. Think we'll get
But
some
he's
live-
in a fatal four-way.
I
They're
know,
just
but
gonna
maybe they'll
rush through it.
Probably, you're right. Finn Balor.
4 entrances they got to get through.
Remember I peed next to that guy? I was like super bummed that Undertaker's going out during the day. I don't know, man. It's daylight, though.
I swear you.
It
said
wasn't
you
me.
were
No.
I
It was.
swear
I was
you
in
said
reaction. It was a
you were
reaction.
nervous.
No.
That you and the guy were both nervous.
No, I was just trying to bro out, crossing streams like you do. And I was like, I can't wait for the Undertaker's entrance. And he said, I don't know. I'm a little nervous because it's going to be daylight. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm nervous because we forgot sunscreen. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio in a WWE United States Championship match that rhymes.
Apparently, Rey Mysterio hurt his ankle, and he may or may not be able to have the match.
Is this going to parlay into like an Elias segment or something like that?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's go with Samoa Joe then.
I'm going to go with Joe as well. Did you see that Dominic is back?
Yeah.
He looks great.
He looks 25.
He's at least 4 to 5 inches taller than his dad.
Are they going to get
So he's got to be Eddie Guerrero's son.
Are they going to get the spirit of Eddie Guerrero involved somehow?
I hope so.
I do too. Okay, now the men's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I am going to go with... Ooh, only 29 of the 30 entrants have been announced. That's cool. I'm going to go with I Don't Care. Titus O'Neil.
Really?
Yeah, no, come on. Hold on. Braun Strowman. The obvious choice.
I'm going to go Michael Che from SNL.
Oh, that's how they're participating?
Yeah.
I knew they had a segment. Okay, that's actually a smart pick. Okay. All 23 names, huh? EC3, huh? That's cool. Sorry. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton in a singles match. Randy Orton seems to always win in WrestleManias.
That's why I'm going to pick AJ Styles. He
All
just
right.
signed a new contract.
Oh, shoot. I did not know that. You did your homework. Well, when your wife and kid run the line. You don't sound like that, right? Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in the aforementioned singles match. Oh, it doesn't say retirement, or it doesn't say Kurt Angle's farewell match in the stipulation here.
Well, it's no matter what, it's his last match. So it's not a stipulation, I guess.
I know it's not a stipulation, but it was like Kurt Angle's. It was billed as Kurt Angle's farewell match, and now it's just billed as singles match. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with. I mean, the safe bet is Kurt Angle because I don't know who's going to be involved. Like, I don't think Baron Corbin is going to be the main participant in this match. I truly don't.
Baron Corbin can't go over.
So I'm definitely going to
go
pick
Angle.
Kurt Angle as well. Okay.
Damn. Are we halfway through yet? Holy shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are. We're a little over halfway there. That's already that's good. We're good, right?
Yeah,
There's more.
Keep it moving.
Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Oh God. Shane McMahon.
I'm gonna go Miz.
Okay. I want The Miz to win, but I hope Shane McMahon's kids aren't involved. Okay. Now this one I'm looking forward to. Triple H versus Batista. I am going Triple H.
Isn't it like if Triple H loses, he has to retire?
I don't know.
I think that's a stipulation.
Yep. If Triple H loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. So Triple H for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll go Triple H also. He doesn't look like he's ready to stop.
Okay.
And Batista's got a lot of movies coming up.
In an undercard match. Oh, by the way, the undercard matches, according to Wikipedia, are this current match that we're going to talk about, the Cruiserweight Championship, the Andre the Giant Men's Battle Royal, and the Women's Battle Royal. So it looks like there are going to be 3 matches. That's typical. I thought they were going to throw up 4 on the undercard because there's 16 freaking matches. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. I'm exposing myself just reading. I can't even pronounce the names of the people on the card of WrestleMania. That's how I'm not.
Well, you don't watch 205 live.
Never, no. I'm going to go with the current champion, Buddy Murphy. I have heard of that guy before.
I'm going to go Buddy as well.
Okay. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Winner takes all triple threat match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship and the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky motherfucking Lynch.
I'm going Becky as well.
You have to, right?
Yeah, there's only a few matches here where we have separation, where this is where the game is going to be won.
Going over the card, though, there are several. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin is compelling for me. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, no. Now Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio is. Now Dominic's back. There's Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. There's some good matches I'm really looking forward to here.
I want Samoa Joe to suplex Dominic on his head.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. He looks great. Looks like he could take a suplex from Samoa Joe. All righty. Okay, this number 2 they have ranked, or they have listed here, should be, when they say main event, we're not going double, right? The women's triple threat match will be the main event, I hope.
It has to be.
The last match, right?
It has to be the last
So in the double main event, I guess we'll just call it Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I am 100% uncertain. No, I am...
Dusty.
I hope that picked up.
It had to have.
There's nothing more impossible than trying to think when someone farts. It's just like, God, what were we talking about?
Dusty, how dare you?
He's blaming it on the dog. Okay. How's Seth Rollins' contract looking?
I had Indian food last night.
Oh, okay. It's not what I asked.
I don't think there's any contractual issues.
Seth Rollins.
I'm going Seth as well.
All right, we're not going to repeat our picks. Just rewind it, people.
Well, the matches that could really affect me being homeless or not, and you taking over my life, is the 4-way tag match.
We had a difference of opinion there.
And the 2 battle royals.
We had a difference of opinion.
Also,
on both
the
fronts.
female tag match.
We picked different. We have a lot of different picks here.
The Randy and AJ match. The Shane and Miz match.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do one of those printouts that we did last year, where you have all the faces. I hope they do that again this year.
It's on Reddit.
Nice.
It's on Reddit.
Everyone I get right. I'm going to do a bit. Hey, where are you at with spoilers, man? I'm real time here. I'm not going to once he's done with the Sabroso thing, then I'll share this with him. That's on you,
If
pal.
you're going to be texting me, I'm turning my phone off.
Oh, you're damn right I'm going to be texting you, dude.
Then I'm turning my phone off.
All right,
get on into it.
Film number 67 of 6,702, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, starring David Arquette, who we both agree is a professional wrestler. And apparently Hilary Swank, man. Jeez.
She a professional wrestler?
No. I mean, she's in this movie. Like, there's something weird when you see a
Ben
movie.
Affleck? Did you notice him?
I knew it was Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I knew it.
The basketball
full disclosure, I was watching this with a lady friend. Okay. So I wasn't watching it that... Okay, forget it. And she remember...
Your cat? Lily?
Yeah. She's like, I was like, is that Ben Affleck? She's like, no, it can't be. She was more familiar with this movie than I was. Like during the opening credits, I was like, "Oh, Hilary Swank's in this?" Yeah, she stole the yellow jacket.
You didn't watch this all the time when you were a kid?
I
It was on TV
all the time. Yeah, but
I had a big.
My problem is I didn't know who Rutger Hauer or Stephen Root or Hilary Swank were going into the movie. And then I discovered who they were after. And if I don't revisit the movie, I never make the connection. So I hadn't revisited this movie until seeing those. That really was Ben Affleck.
I had a huge crush on Christy Swanson when I was in junior high, man. And so I would watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The Chase all the time. They would always be on TV, too.
The Chase.
You remember The Chase with Charlie Sheen?
With Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, I like that movie.
When, they were, making love while he was driving, I believe.
Yes. She's like, well, it'll be better. We're almost at the border.
That's
and
some
I like
Stockholm
you now.
Syndrome right there, right?
So let's have sex while you drive.
Yeah, man. She turned instantly. Like, she wanted to be abducted by Charlie Sheen. I've seen that movie more than Buffy with the Vampire Slayer. I want to say I've seen it 5 or 6 times. I watched it a lot, and there are moments.
I've seen it 15 times because it would be on TV
it was on
every day.
But then it was when I stopped watching it, hard out. It didn't survive for me because I haven't seen this movie in 15 years.
Yeah,
and I was surprised at how little I remembered of it.
I've been trying to chronicle David Arquette's wrestling career.
All right.
So can we just go to the next step in his evolution? So we covered his first match on Monday Night Raw or Monday Nitro, but then on the next episode of Thunder, for some reason they decide to have a tag team match where it's him and DDP versus Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett. The stipulation being whoever gets the pin gets the win and gets the championship.
It's not false count anywhere. The pinfall has to take place in the ring.
Yeah, but whoever got the pin is the champion.
But it's not a fatal 4-way, it's a tag team match.
Yeah, and they didn't even have any, you'd think I better stop Bischoff from getting the pin. There weren't even any real false finishes or anything.
Yeah.
This is a horribly constructed idea and match. For some reason, I had a false memory of him winning it and it being
remember it being a tag team match.
I remember it being on a grander scale, at a pay-per-view, not on some random Thunder,
man.
In a tag team match. And I remember him being a reluctant champion, but no, when he wins, he's hoisting it up like he deserved it, and DDP is happy for him, even though it should be his belt.
So that does bother you then.
And
it doesn't really bother me.
Tony Schiavone was really putting it over, but the crowd did not seem to care.
Bobby Heenan didn't care for it. You could tell in his voice.
Yeah, it was just
poorly executed. I don't dislike the idea of a celebrity holding a heavyweight championship. I'm sorry. I mean, it's shock value when we're talking about it to this day.
If you do it
maybe
right,
the execution wasn't.
The execution was poor.
So
You put him on Nitro.
Well,
and
maybe
he has
they
his
were
first
like, all right,
match,
if we're gonna do
and
this,
then you give it to him on
then
Thunder.
Yeah. How long did he hold the belt for?
We'll have to watch another David Arquette
Oh,
movie
hey,
to
I
find
like
out.
that.
We're only going one step at a time here.
That's called a cliffhanger.
But you compare this. I was thinking after I watched it, I was thinking back. So remember when Hogan first turned and he first got the belt and he spray painted NWO on it?
Yes.
And they were like,
Hog Wild.
he's tarnished. He's tarnished
Beautiful.
the legacy of this belt.
Yeah.
And I remember I think it was one of the Georgia Dome Nitros. Lex Luger beat Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was like a big celebration in the back with like champagne, and they were getting like paint remover, and they were cleaning off the paint on the title, and they were like, no, it was coming off.
Okay.
But it was just like everybody was like, the sanctity of the belt has been returned,
Which is a special thing, and that doesn't exist anymore.
And you just see a few years later, this belt is a piece of trash.
Part of that fault goes to Stone Cold Steve Austin, my friend. I'm sorry, but the image of him just dragging the belt to the ring, it kind of diminishes the importance of the belt.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
What is with Donald Sutherland's outerwear, man? Can't he just like at least pretend to fit in? You know, this is the Valley here
Yeah.
during the fall. He's wearing a scarf.
So
That would have introduced like a kind of a fun montage, like maybe between her training montage of her like redressing him to fit in, because he looks totally out of place.
oh, definitely.
You know, so that would have been fun.
You know,
it could have been a nice 90s montage.
he's a spirit from another world. He's reincarnated. He's the Watcher. But what
Does he have eternal life though? Like, is he eventually going to?
I think
reanimate himself.
I think he's going to. He was just after he was killed.
He's going to start up.
He's
again.
now a baby somewhere else, and he's gonna grow up and then find a new Slayer. That's how.
So
I
he's
get
Kiefer Sutherland now.
yeah, basically. So I was researching fun facts actually before I watched the movie.
Okay.
And so then I was reading that Joss Whedon was just really upset. This was his first Hollywood film script that he sold. And they completely changed everything.
And is that
And
why
so-
he decided to launch the show? It's like, this is what I meant.
I'll get into that later. But
You don't have to.
no, I will.
I'm like, oh God.
So,
wait.
I got the
I'll get
original.
to that later.
I got the original script, and I was actually going through it while I watched the movie today.
His original
and
script.
man,
It's completely different.
and it made me watch it in a different way because I was like, man, this is actually way cooler, and they really ruined it.
It is
like,
such it's a comedy, and he probably didn't intend it to be a comedy.
He wanted it. It had comedic elements, but it was like a dark
This is
comedy.
shticky.
Yeah, it
This is
was
a
not
joke.
shticky. The vampires in his script are scary. Like Lothos in the script, he lives in a pool of blood. And so when people like visit his lair, he comes out of the pool of blood because he likes to like live in a pool of blood.
That's horrifying.
And it's like very scary. And the vampires are menacing in it. The vampires in this are just like
Goofy.
bumbling fools. They're not scary
They're
at all.
caricatures. It's comedy.
Yeah,
It's high comedy.
And when they stake them, there's like no gore. There's barely any blood in this movie at all. It's a vampire movie. Like no blood at all.
There were flashes of brilliance.
I used to like this movie. Now I don't like it anymore.
I feel the same way. I was like, this does not survive. Like this is not. This is a weak.
The PDF of the
This
script
does not
is
withstand the test of time. You
the
know?
PDF of the script is
It's much
online.
better.
I mean, you could. I got through it in like 20 minutes. It's worth taking a look at just so you can see.
So totally, I never watched the show. Right.
So
Everyone says the show is way better.
the shows he kind of learned from this experience, and then when he actually made the show, he decided like, you know what, Buffy shouldn't be a lone wolf. She needs like a squad.
Yeah.
And that's really what makes people love the show, is that she's got this whole squad, this cast of characters.
Yeah, these characters really relied heavily on, the Valley Girl persona.
Yeah.
Just the okay, this takes place in LA. Oh, I know how to write for LA women. This is how they talk in high school. This is how they communicate.
Yeah.
Phony, man. There were flashes of brilliance though. The scene where she dozes off and Rutger Hauer is behind her caressing her. That's a powerful scene.
And there's a lot of dream sequences that were cut. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie doesn't hold up for me.
It's just too tame. Like, you compare it to so many other vampire movies. It's maybe one of the most tame vampire movies I've seen.
Do you remember, if not, no big deal, in the script they have the Salem's Lot homage where David Arquette is floating by the window and Pike's about to let him in? That's a direct homage. Almost too on the nose.
I don't believe he's floating in the script, but they do have that scene, and it's in a different order.
Oh.
It comes like way later.
Yeah, because that scene, and I remember as a kid thinking, well, that's a ripoff, because the Salem's Lot scene is just so horrifying. And this is like,
going through the script too.
Working. So
I was
then I
like,
just think about how much better the Salem's Lot scene is.
It kind of has the feel of The Craft. So if you would take
way better,
if you would take this movie and put the dark elements of The Craft and the high school elements of The Craft. That's Joss Whedon's original script.
For sure.
And the character of Merrick is way more interesting.
Sweating, man. Look at this.
You're always sweating. So another element that they took out from the original script, which was really cool, is that rather than let Lothos kill him, he shoots himself in the head. Merrick shoots himself in the head. He commits suicide because he knows that it's a better fate than allowing the vampire to take him.
Beautiful.
And and they really establish their connection. Yeah. There's so many scenes of them getting to know each other and developing that bond.
Wow.
That are just omitted from the script. And so it's when he kills himself, it's like an emotional, just hard moment. And she has to dig his grave and buries him. And then that's when she decides, she's ready to fight.
And unfortunately, the 1992 viewing audience isn't ready for that. So you can't say it was a bad idea. That movie was a hit. I mean, it had a huge cult following, too, at how campy it was. I don't think it did well in the box office, but it
made $17 million, and then based off of the rentals
just went absurd.
That's when they decided to sell it as a show.
So I'm sorry, man, but they obviously made the right choice.
I guess.
I mean, it was consistently campy.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about a story of somebody that's a chosen one that doesn't know it. I always like that, like Harry Potter and
translated
stuff.
well here.
Yeah. It had its moments.
But
it's
I
got
remember
good 90s
vibes,
but I don't like it like I did back then.
I was like, Pee Wee Herman's got range. Have you seen him in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm like, he's terrible in this. Oh, his death sucked.
His death was actually fully improvised. He that wasn't in the script. He came up with that. I kind of like his line when he's like, kill him a lot.
Oh, I like that part.
I also thought Hilary Swank was good.
She's awesome. Yeah, I was like, whoa, she's got it. No wonder she became a star.
And David Arquette was good.
She was excellent in this.
I like David Arquette. When he shows it, he has his weenie, and he's like, I got something for you.
Yeah, but then she chops it in half and then they cut away.
Yeah.
That was an awkward scene. That was poorly edited.
Yeah, that was. And
that entire bar scene, first of all, what are they doing in a bar?
In the script, they're like, that's like that time you did that weird flip in gymnastics.
That was a poorly executed
scene. She's like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, also, she ain't got no cheerleading skills, man. She was like a half a step off like the entire performance. And then she's doing flips and stuff. We're supposed to believe that. She can't even hold her pom-poms in rhythm with the rest of her crew.
The fight scenes are bad. Like her kicks and she's surrounded by all these vampires and she's just doing these slow hyaa.
Weren't you going into this hell yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't like this as much.
Because we defied the urn. That's what happens. This is called punishment.
I guess so. I give it a 4.1.
I give it a 5.
Okay. Fun facts. So, like I said, I was going to go into it a little bit. And you don't want to hear it, but I don't care. Joss Whedon was so frustrated by how much of his vision was mishandled and how much of it was rewritten that he eventually left the set during production and never came back. And he hated Donald Sutherland. He was one of the main reasons why he left. And so in an interview, he was asked why, and he said he was just a prick. The thing is, people always make fun of Rutger Hauer for that role, but even though he was big and silly and looked kind of goofy in the movie, I have to give him credit because he was there. He was into it. Whereas Donald was just, he would rewrite all his dialogue, and the director would let him. He can't write. He's not a writer, so the dialogue would not make any sense, and he had a very bad attitude. He was incredibly rude to the director. He was rude to everyone around him. He was just a real pain. And to see him destroying my stuff, some people didn't notice. Some people liked him in the movie because he's Donald Sutherland. He's a great actor. He can read the phone book, and it's interesting. But the thing is, he acts well enough that you didn't notice, with his little rewrites and his little ideas about what his character should do, that he was actually destroying the movie more than Rutger Hauer was. So I got out of there. I had to run away. You know, the show wasn't really my idea.
That's just my reaction to reading this, man. I'm blowing up over here.
The show wasn't really my idea. After the premiere of the movie, my wife said, you know, honey, maybe a few years from now, you'll get to make it again the way you want to make it.
So sweet.
And then in a condescending voice, I said, ha, 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 you little naive fool. It doesn't work that way. That'll never happen. And then it was 3 years later, and Gail Berman actually had the idea. Sand Dollar Television had the property, and Gail thought it would make a good TV series. They called me up out of a contractual obligation, call the writer, have him make a pass. And I was like, well, that sounds cool. So to my agent's surprise and chagrin, I said, yeah, I could do that. I think I get it. It could be a high school horror movie. It'd be a metaphor for how lousy my high school years were. So I hadn't had the original idea. I just developed it.
Okay.
Alyssa Milano was originally chosen to play Buffy.
Boy, Joss Whedon's a brat. Right? I bet Donald Sutherland just like kind of passed him in the hallway and just, you know, he was...
It was his first script that he sold, and it was like his original.
Him, like, I would prefer to. Yeah,
it was his original vision, you know. And they really, really drastically changed it.
Yeah, but it sounds like that was all pretty emotional. I bet he oversold like Donald Sutherland as a human being.
I mean, read the script.
No.
You might just read it.
No. I'm not going to read the script.
It's like 20 minutes.
How many pages? 85?
It's a short script.
No.
Okay, fine.
We are not moving forward until you read the script. All right, I'll cue it up right now. Is it a PDF?
I already said it was a PDF.
Why don't I read it?
Listen.
To the Cinemaniacs out there next episode.
Buffy says that her life goals are to marry Christian Slater. In Joss Whedon's original script, it was Charlie Sheen, who she would later co-star with in The Chase.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke, Ryan.
Here's a really interesting one.
I'll take a Canada Dry.
Christy Swanson dated Alan Thicke when she was 17 and he was 40.
I wrote that down. I was gonna mention it if you hadn't. What a creep.
Yeah.
Rot in hell, Alan Thicke.
And then she also got like a pretty bad DUI where she had court-ordered AA where she was .23. She blew a .23. Oof. Yeah.
How old? 21, 22, something like that?
I didn't get the year. I think it was actually like kind of after her heyday.
That's sad. That really ruins you.
And then she got in a Twitter feud with Kathy Griffin where she said her brother died 3 times because there was no border wall. Is kind of funny. But yeah, so
her brother died 3 times because she said no border wall. What does that even mean?
It's just look it up.
Okay, great.
You want me to read the tweet? That
Actually,
makes no sense.
I don't really. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll read it to you. So Kathy Griffin was talking about, how the wall's not going to stop tunnels.
Okay.
Because they always find tunnels, like drug smuggling tunnels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Christy Swanson replied and said, "We know about the tunnels, Kathy Griffin. My nephew, Army in all caps, was blown up by the cartel because of their tunnels. He died 3 times. We need a secure wall, technology, boots, drones, and more. We need it all. And one thing we really don't need is your idiotic input about the border."
Damn. So she's paranoid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then some guy replied, "My nephew, Coast Guard, was blown up by Garfield because of the lasagna. He died 6 times. We need a more secure kennel, scratching posts, and litter box."
That's well composed. That's a great response.
Yeah.
Touche.
I mean, she probably was getting hammered while she sent that tweet out.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes down.
So I think, lots of bad stuff's going to happen to us in the future because we're going to defy the urn 3 weeks in a row.
I know. Because
we're going to cover the dark side of the ring for the next 3 weeks. New show on Viceland.
Well, I can't wait.
Can't
Episodic. Why'd you bring the urn out then? Like, you should have just kept it in your room in a closet. Like, because the urn is hearing all this.
I'm telling you.
If you left it in the closet, you would have been like, oh, maybe they're not recording. I don't know. Maybe they finally decided to give it up, But
Hey, urn.
She's listening to every
I'm
word.
holding the urn right now. Hey, urn.
Oh, God. I'm not watching this.
Fuck your mother, urn.
Oh!
I'm Ryan the Muffler Bruckner saying, it's my birthday and no one ruins my birthday.
And I'm Mike Big Tobacco Ryan. We got to do our nude love scene right now.